We now move to session 8, Art of Communication, Tips for Effective Communication Skills by Ms. Vaijayanti Jagannathan. Mrs. Vaijayanti Jagannathan is an accomplished HRD consultant based out of Chennai and provides training solutions in the area of soft skills to top corporates and colleges. She helps them take an integrated approach in their path to excellence. Mrs. Vaijayanti is a very close associate of Madras Management Association, a member of MMA for over a decade.
Then I'll take a hand mic later. Okay,
it's over to Ms. Vaijayanti Jagannathan.
Hi. Give me a nice hi. See, I've been given a very difficult, a very critical time to talk to you on the art of communication, post-lunch session. And just before entering the hall, I got a quote from somebody. Effective communication is like drinking or sipping a cup of stimulating hot coffee, because it's very hard to sleep after it. So I hope my communication is stimulating, that none of you go to sleep, and we'll try to make it as interactive as possible. See, when this topic when it was given to me, I was very enthusiastic because it's my forte. Communication is one of my passionate subjects. So I thought, what? I can give them a funda about, about basics of communication, elements of a good communicator, and what is a good presentation. But when I sat through all the sessions from the morning, my heart rose and sank at the same time. It rose because I found styles of effective communication. I found effective communicators from whom I learned a lot of things. The art of moving about on stage, the way in which you present an idea, the use of visuals, the use of jokes or humor that was very aptly timed and well interspersed with, important reflective thoughts. So my heart really rose. It sank when I said, what am I going to say? Everything has already been said, that you will have to be assertive, you will have to be this, you will have to be that. So I did some homeworking in between, refreshing my mind with samosas and sweets, so that, because when you get a lot of carbohydrates, you're like, let me talk like Geeta, you get stimulated by certain ideas. So I decided, like, what do I do? Okay, I said, let me follow a different approach. Today, you youngsters talk about big B, big bazaars, big cars, big deals. So I thought, let me weave my talk of the art of effective communication with the word big deal. So I'm going to expand the word big deal and, throw open my points to you, for which you can reflect. Now, what does B stand for? Any idea? The big. For the art of communication, it is big. For presentation, which is my next topic, which I'm going to be with you for the next 25 minutes, it's going to be the deal. So can somebody guess what would be the B? Beef, huh? Characteristics of good communicators, you take it from any organizational behavior book. Bold, brilliant, expressive, friendly, clear, all this funda you can get from books. Think differently. Brisk, you have to be, you walk briskly when Padmaja called you 10 times on stage and the previous speakers also call you. No. Link it to effective communication. Okay, let me start, since I have only 25 minutes to, deal with the topic. My B stands for basics. Build your basics of communication. What is the basics of communication? It's not merely language. In your OB book, organizational behavior book, they would tell you basics is all communication has 6 fundamental elements: the sender, the receiver, the message, the medium, the language, and the context. Please work on them well so that you become an effective communicator. Now this is a basic, building your basics, building the basics about awareness of what it makes to do a communication. Communication not merely exchange of ideas or information, it's also exchange of feelings. And I think that was what very beautifully brought out by my previous speakers, who said there is an attitude component to communication. People bring in their own values, their beliefs, the way in which they have been brought up, and when any situation comes, those values and beliefs and what they believe to be true comes out when they communicate with you. So the basics is understanding what communication entails. It is an exchange of information, it is an exchange of ideas, but it's also an exchange of feelings. So, the second basic that I want to make you understand is communication is a process, it's an ability and an attitude. It is a process, it's ongoing. 70% of our waking lives we are communicating. We can't opt out of communication, we can only choose to be a good communicator or a bad communicator. If I see in the beginning of the day, you all sat like this. Afterwards, you went to this posture. You're communicating to me, you're very tired. If you yawn in the class, you're communicating to me three things. Either you did not have a good night's sleep, or there is less oxygen in your body, or my voice is so boring that you want to go to sleep. Though I don't want to believe the last one. So constantly you're communicating. You can't opt out of communication. So how do I understand it as a process, an ongoing process? An ongoing process that never stops. And in fact, Gita Krishnaraj says, every cell has intelligence and it's constantly communicating to you, communicating with the environment. So it's an internal as well as an external process. Then I would like to look at communication also as an attitude. An attitude of gratitude, an attitude to improve, an attitude to build on the already existing knowledge you have, an attitude to be open to ideas, an attitude of sharing what you know, an attitude of being very relevant and specific when you are speaking or giving feedback. Very, very important. And all this would make you develop attitude as an ability. Ability means your skill of communication. When we talk about a skill of communication, we talk about listening skills, we talk about rapport building skills, connecting people together, bonding with people together. Then we talk about questioning skills, we talk about email writing skills, which my friend Nina John would be very soon handling. So you talk about a skill which is developed. Knowledge converted by practice is called a skill. When you practice something, three things happen. One, you become very confident. Ask me to speak here, ask me to speak in Timbuktu, Guduvanjeri or somewhere else, I'll speak because I've prepared. Skill gives you quality. You make less mistakes. In your management terminology or in the operational excellence terminology, zero error orientation. You have a tendency to make less mistakes. And when you talk about skill, the third advantage is speed. You can do things faster with practice than when you did not have a practice. So speed, quality and confidence are the three benefits of a skill, and communication too is a skill. For example, people ask me, ma'am, how are you able to talk without even taking a breath? You talk continuously. How is it? I said skill, because I've done 2000 programs in the last 10 years. So even in my sleep, if you wake me up and ask me to do a program, I can do, because the hardware and the software is pakka. By sheer exposure, experience and information, you become good in talking. No, definitely talking is not communication. Speaking is an ability, but communication, you should become a master in it. And for that mastery, you require practice. Because practice makes a man perfect, which is a very common, saying that everybody would be talking about. So, your communication has, when you talk about the basics of communication, number one, you talk about the elements of communication like the sender, the receiver, the message, medium, language, context. And you remember in that basics, the sender is the most important person. I am talking, you are listening to me, I'm asking you a question or people ask you a question and you are responding to me. Now he or she is in the driving seat. I have to choose the message. What do I want to talk? For this, I read somewhere in a book, when you have to talk for 5 minutes, you prepare for 3 days. When you want to talk for half an hour, prepare for at least 1.5 days. When you want to talk for an hour, prepare at least a day. If you want to talk for 2 days, you can do it immediately because you have the whole day to think, organize your thoughts. To be very precise, to be very clear, to be concise is very important, for which there is no other alternative than preparation and making it into a skill. So these elements, you will have to remember how each. So message is important. And the message, it's not what you say, how you say it. I can go to Nina and say, Nina, you finished that work on time. The message has a different meaning. I can go to Prakash and say, Prakash, you finished that work on time. Has a different message. I can go to Captain Vijay Kumar and say, Captain Vijay Kumar, you finished that work on time. Wow, that's a different message. Then I can go to, say, Archana and say, Archana, you finished that work on time. How come? Now, I'm using the same words, but my message does not mean the same because the emphasis is so different. You finished the work means, oh, you are not capable of doing anything. How did you finish? You finished that work on time talks about, oh, your capability of completing a task, because you're generally a person who never completes a task. You finished that work on time, that work which was so complicated. So I'm giving a compliment to that person. And you finished that work on time. Hey, time management and you are not the best of friends. How did you finish it on time? So it's not what you say, how you say it, which you have to remember as one of the basic elements of the message. Then comes the language. I'm taking you through the basics because I'm only telling you the subtle nuances and challenges of communication. Now, language is very interesting. In like any other country, we have Tanglish, Telugu English, Gujarati English, Indian English. Indian English is very rare, but we have different regional flavors. I must share this joke with you. The other day I was in a class where, with no offense meant to any state, I'm only giving you the subtle flavors of the English language from the different regions. I was doing a program in Kumarapalayam where a lot of Malayali students were there. I told this boy, describe yourself in one word. Positive thinker, madam. I said, please come again. Positive thinker, madam. I said, please come again. Positive thinker. Then I took a journey to Tiruchengood, where there was another college. I was doing some programs for the students. I asked him, what's your favorite color? Yellow color, madam. I like yellow color very much, madam. Now this is the regional flavor of an yellow color. Then my journey took me to Bengal. I asked this fellow, where is Sheila? Oh, Vajanti? She was just shitting before me. I said, shitting before you? For them, a sir and a sure are interchangeable. And then I went a little bit to Bihar. And in Bihar, I asked the student, what did you say was the mark you got in the exam? 55. That 55 came from the bottom of his stomach, went to his chest and then came out. I said, but 55, you'll only have to use your mouth. No, 55, madam. Now, can we laugh at them? We can't laugh at them because that's the English they heard. That's the way they developed a sense of language. Now, I'm doing this to you as a part of the basics of communication because we all can't conquer the accents and the flavors, but we can learn to reduce the accent because today business is going global, business is going national, and I don't say people who speak beautifully correct English are intelligent people. There is no connection between English speaking and intelligence. But your ability to express yourself clearly in the English language is a big advantage today. Because the success of communication does not lie in what the sender knows, but how the receiver has understood and responded in the way in which the sender wanted him to respond. Ultimately, you must make your communication work. That's why I'm talking about language. Then we come to the medium. We talk about verbal medium, non-verbal medium, written medium. You're going to have a lot of sessions on that. All of them are powerful. Words are very important. If you can't get your ideas and words across, communication has no meaning. Do you use a one-way medium, a two-way medium? We'll have, detailed sessions from the other experienced speakers. And then there is the receiver who has to be a very good listener. The oft-quoted proverb, God has given us 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we listen more and speak less. So definitely listening is difficult. It's a skill that you have to develop. You need to be patient. You have to work on it. So this is one component of the basics of communication. The other component I talked was a process, an ability, as well as a skill. And the third most important aspect of your basics is feedback on communication. Do you know one of the shortest words in the English language which has the letters A, B, C, D, E is feedback? One of the shortest letters, one of the shortest words, which has all the letters A, B, C, D, E is feedback. Without feedback, you can't survive. I remember the feedback, and feedback should never be criticism. A feedback consists of praise, appreciation, as well as criticism. My only appeal to all of you young students is never take criticism personally. Separate the issue from the person. I remember very well, I was a lecturer in sociology in Stella Maris College here in Chennai. I'm sure boys would have heard about it because it's an exclusive girls' college. And when I was teaching there, and I know when I applied after my post-graduation for a job, we had something called a test lecture, where the head of the department, the senior lecturers and the students would test my ability to teach. So I had been a student there and I was very confident I'll get a job. I prepared myself on a very tough topic which was full of technical jargons because I knew my lecturers would never be able to explain that clearly. So I thought, let me simplify it. And I went there. I had mugged up my lecture, let me be honest with you, because I was nervous. Remember, when you talk for the first time before an audience, you are nervous and it's natural to be nervous. You can't eliminate nervousness, you can control nervousness. And one way to control nervousness was prepare very well. So I prepared so much and I went there. So sister said, start. Like, like the firing machine, I went on and on. What was supposed to be a 20 minutes lecture, I finished in 5 minutes. Pin drop silence in my class. Vaijayanti was mentally clapping to herself. Wow, no questions, nobody moved their head, everyone was listening, I am a success. So I was mentally clapping and I looked like the cat which licked the milk of its whiskers, and I looked very nicely and said, sister is going to confirm me. One student got up and said, she clapped. I said, thank you, don't thank me. Very good speed, but we didn't understand a word. Please don't take this profession. Now, this was the greatest, blunt face-to-face feedback, and which upset me. But then I thought, so what? She's only telling I can't teach. She's not saying Vaijayanti is bad. She's only saying Vaijayanti's employability as a teacher is not working there. So separate the issue from the person. So I said, let me work on my speed. Let me work on things that would make me acceptable as a teacher. I worked and ultimately I taught there. I was a very more popular teacher than an academic teacher because I loved people. I loved interacting and I felt that always a teacher learns as much as she teaches. So that attitude kept me going as a lecturer there and then in St. Xavier's, Bombay and Indira Gandhi Open University later on. So this is very important feedback. This is one of the B's of your big. What is the I? What is the I? What is the I? I of the big word. Invest and improve your communication skills. Constantly invest. Constantly invest. Read. Observe. Listen to people talking. Today you've all invested your time to sit for a 24-hour program which has been so meticulously orchestrated by the Sea Change consultants, and you have spent time on it. That means you're investing your time to improve your knowledge as well as your communication or other skills. Invest. They say that people who work on their communication will always work to become better. Nobody becomes a born narrator or a skillful orator overnight. They have to work on it. All of us practice, 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 practice. There is a proverb in English, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. If you fail to practice, you practice to fail. So it's so important that you must work on your communication skills. And what do you think is the G? Any guesses? G? What could it be? You're all first year and second year students, isn't it? Right? Today, the famous management logo, go from good to great. Yes or no? Today, we don't want good people. We want excellent people. We don't want okay people. We want the people who become great. So how do you go from good to great? By concentrating on certain elements of communication and on your skill and capability as a communicator. Let's take the basic elements of effective communication. Number one, you must be convinced of what you are saying. Unless you speak from your heart, you cannot convey what you want to convey. Conviction should come from the belief in the product, the service, or whatever you are handling. It is seen in your voice, it is seen in your body language, it is seen in your expressions. It has to come. You have to be convinced. Many people ask me, as if you will bring a big change after doing a program for 2 days. The euphoria effect will be there. They'll come and say, wow, Vaijayanti spoke very well, very interesting, very inspiring. They'll go back to square one. I said, no, I don't believe. I believe I make a difference in stimulating somebody to think differently. I am not talking rocket science, but I'm talking what? I'm talking the people's ability to explore more roads to their destinations. We are telling you what you already know, but what you know, we are putting it in a perspective. We are saying if you take this road, this is the destination. If you take that road, that would be the destination. So stimulating people to think in a particular direction is a very, very big advantage. It's a very, very big job. And then they ask me the second question, aren't you getting bored saying the same thing in different ways to the same people? I said, no, I don't meet the same people. I meet different people. And every training lesson is a lesson for me in terms of examples, in terms of the way people take my classes. And secondly, you don't know whether I'm updating my knowledge. For every program, I'll sit and read something. An example here. For example, the recent one that I heard, which I read, which was a little gender biased, of Winston Churchill. A good communication should be like a woman's skirt. Short enough to be interesting, but long enough to cover the topic. Now, this is bad. As a woman, I should not be talking about it. It's a very gender-biased statement, but I said I like it. I like the sense of humor in what it tries to convey. So, it is very important that you read, you update, and that is the way in which you can become a roadie. Now, you all have that program roadies, you know, road rage people on this thing. What's a roadie? You read a lot, observe a lot, enjoy what you're doing. Go on aligning, adapting yourself to different styles. Like today, you saw so many styles of communication. I'm not moving from here to show you this is also a style of communication. People were moving with a mic. Some people were having a hand mic. Some people were having a collar mic. Geeta had a mic that was very close. And I feel I have an inbuilt mic. And if I use those mics, it looks as if I'm shouting. So I said very safely, we know our strengths and weakness. No? So let's stick to our basics of having this good old, training methodology of looking here but still having eye contact with all of you. So this is very important when you communicate. Because why do you communicate? Because you communicate, but you want to get things done. And communication is definitely something that you can work upon and become your best. And the second element of effective communicator first is conviction. Second is confidence. Unless you're confident, confidence is seen in your eyes, in your language, in the way you move, your gestures. What gives you confidence? All my speakers without fail have said, knowledge gives you confidence and confidence gives you credibility. Unless you prepare, unless you know the subject, you can't talk. So confidence is very important. The third very important element in any community is enthusiasm. You must have the energy to deliver. You must have the ability to have a sustained, persistent energy. When they told me talk for 35 minutes, I was a little afraid when sea change, because I'm used to doing 2-day programs and 3-day programs. Only 35 minutes? Can I cover everything? And do I want to have an information overload, or will people have an information diarrhea after hearing because I would like to put everything. You know, the teacher in me has not gone away. I want to give as much as possible to my students. So then they say, we got enough matter to write for an exam and think about. I don't know, but this is a very, very important, requirement of a good communicator. You should be enthusiastic, and last but not the least, be a good listener. Listening is very, very hard. In one of my training, the trainer's course that I attended, the most difficult part of the training was sitting and listening to 10 people's training program. At that point of time, my empathy for the students increased. My empathy for the participants increased, because some people have a boring voice. They'll go na 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 with no variation. Some people will show a lot of PowerPoint slides and watch. Now, what is it? That's what I'm saying and what I'm showing are the same. It's a confusion in their own minds. And some people will give lots of case studies and they'll keep quiet. Discuss.
Now, where would they discuss unless you're motivated? And some of them have no energy in them. And I'll find after some time, people will look at the watch, look at the door, they'll look at, they'll make body language signals. When is it going to be over? So I said, this is the most, terrible part of this thing, listening, because it's very hard to sit, and especially for talkers like us, listening to somebody else. Today I said, I must sit through all the lectures. What is it? Should I not have a comradeship and respect for all the other trainers who have come here? That let me sit and listen and make my notes. So for everybody, I made some notes, because learning never goes waste, but we don't have the patience to listen. Now, so conviction, enthusiasm, listening and enthusiasm, listening are the very important elements of a good communicator. And if you want to know you have become the best, what is it that you should have in your personality? Number one, be courteous. Without, we Tamil, we say, வார்த்தைகளை ஒரு தடவை வெளியில விட்டா அள்ளி திருப்பி வாய்க்குள்ள போட முடியாது. There is no negate button, delete button. Once you have done a damage with your mouth, damage is permanent. So be very courteous. I do programs for Royal Bank of Scotland where they give me, templates, ready-made templates, and said, Vaijayanti, go and deliver. The first slide is on courtesy. These 5 words should become a permanent part of your vocabulary. May I, please, sorry. There is never a no. Then another thing is, excuse me. If you come at 9:30, you are late. If the class is at 9:30, you come at 9:30, you are late. You have to say, excuse me. If you come at 9:35, you must say, sorry, excuse me. And we presume that you have informed the HR people there was a very solid reason why you were delayed. And being on time is 9:25. So these are the courtesies that you show to yourself, to your job, and to the people whom you work. The second C is, of course, clarity. Speak clearly. When will you speak clearly? When you think. And that's what Prakash said. Use your mind. Thinking. I've started in my synopsis that we speak, mouth can speak about 100 words in a minute. Our brain can understand 400 words in a minute, but the brain can process 1,000 words in a minute. That means we have an immense capacity to think. So it is difficult for people like me to keep pace with my mouth and my thoughts, because so many thoughts come to your mind and you want to give all the thoughts a shape through the words. So it is very important that you should understand to really think and speak clearly. What I must tell them, what I should tell them, what I could tell them. We were looking at, Nina and myself were discussing when speakers were coming. Some of them, everyone is so enthusiastic that they want to bring all their knowledge of their years into a 35-minute talk. They don't know where to stop, when to begin, how to do. But the enthusiasm, for me, more than the time, it was the enthusiasm for sharing which was so important. So the second thing. And third is concise. Now this is something that you must learn as employees. Managers have no time to listen to your long, windy explanations. What's happening in this thing? Sir, when I came in the morning, actually Ranganath was, don't start. Sir, the machine is not working. Give him a precise status updation of what is happening. Concise, precise. Kiss of communication, keep it simple and short. The next one is correctness. Give people how much of the work is over? Most of it, sir. What is most of it? 80%, 90%, 25%, 30% of the important work, but 80% of the not so important work. Please give people. It should not be like gulab jamun. People, Papa, I came second. How many people ran? 2 people. Now it can't be that kind of correctness. So precise correctness. And last but not the least, completeness in communication. Completeness in communication means finish what you want to say with a context. If I go and tell Anand, do this work for me, Anand will ask me, which work? What work? Why should I do it? Anand, there is an emergency. You have had an experience of event management, of bringing so many trainers into one fold. So please give us the way in which you organize, and please put it in the form of an email and send it to me. Then he'll set aside, because there is a similar requirement in my college, and I would like to take your help. So please remember this when you do. So when you go, this is what I mean by the big thinking, the big of communication. From good to great, invest, and the basics. Thank you for this. Am I right on time? Got to be there. Next session also.
The next session is on Present the Presentation by Mrs. Vaijayanti Jagannathan.
So you're going to have some more of me.
Presentation. Let me start with a very simple, basic definition. I like to start with basics. That's my style of presentation. Planned communication is called presentation. It's not, you are not presenting to impress. You're presenting to inform, to persuade, to teach, to train or sell. This is what happens in an organization. You're present to inform people about something you didn't know. You want to persuade people to accept some kind of change in their behavior. You are selling a particular concept, product or a service. You are teaching people about a new technology or the ways of the organization, or you are trying to train people to become better. This is the basic purpose of a presentation. So presentation is planned communication. And unless you plan your communication, you cannot present. An English author of yesteryears very beautifully talked about an effective presentation without calling it a presentation. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them, and tell them what you have already told them. You are an effective presenter, he said. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Purpose, objectives. Tell them content. Tell them what you have already told them. Summarize conclusions and invite questions. I think nothing can be more precisely summarized than this English author who said this is a presentation. So how do I take this presentation? Now, let me go through it fast. First, I can call it 10 commandments of presentation or 10 tenets of a presentation, or I could even say it, what should you remember while you're presenting? All of you at some point of time as a student or as an employee or as a teacher will have to present. Do some planning and present. So the first rule or commandment of an effective presentation is MAS. What is MAS? Control your MAS. Now I don't want my trainers to say, this is their old, things that are put in a very usual way. So I don't want Nina or Manoj to open their mouth for this session. Because what is MAS? Have control. First commandment of listening, at the initial stage itself, plan and control your MAS. MAS. What is MAS? I love short forms. These are mnemonics, no? Easy triggers to remember. What's MAS? MM. In a presentation, what do you have an M for? Material. A is audience and S is self. Have control over the material, have control over the audience, and have control over yourself. Now you'll ask me, what is control over yourself? Very distracting body language mannerisms. I've seen some presenters go like this. Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up there. He'll go like this. See, what I want you to tell you, Vaijayanti, is, and as I feel like putting one background music and saying la 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 la. Some people talk like that. Some people, are very stiff. They don't move. And why a podium is kept before a speaker? Do you know the reason? If ever our hands tremble or we forget and we want to punch somebody in the audience who is irritating us with a silly question or thinks he knows everything, we hold on to this podium very fast because all the anger, stress and nervousness is transformed into this solid object which cannot be broken or twisted even by a weighty person like me. Very important. That is where we have this kind of a podium. We have and look at me very intelligently. I'm doing this because in case I forget something, I can look at my notes. See, my notes is not because I have forgotten. I want to tell you the best way to show you have planned is to always come with a prepared note. Now this is a trick. Even if I forget, of course, I can look into my this thing. That's another trick of mine. But always. The 4 R's of an effective presenter. I love R's, C's, M's and all that. Please, I'll tell you. Let me give you another jargon of communication. What are the 4 R's of a good presenter who has a notebook which has all the points that she has prepared and lifted from other people's books or their speeches? It is remember, retain, recall, respond. How do you remember many things? Write it down. This brain is governed by 2 principles called recency and importance. If something is important, it's like a tape recorder. I give a command to my brain, remember. Then if I give it importance, then it'll remember. And the recency effect, that it has happened now, I'll remember say a few people's names. But otherwise it tends to forget. So best way to remember what you have absorbed is to write it down. So remember, retain it in writing or in some format, recall it at the right time, and respond. Then you become a very good communicator. How do I remember quotations? How do I remember names of people? How do I remember the 101 statistics that come, or the quotations? How do we do repetition? By writing. My way of preparing for a presentation is either from a book, I write it down. When I write, there is a 2 times learning process. One, I have read and retained in my brain, and I write it down. Again, it's a reinforcement. So the first thing is control over your material. So what do you mean by control over material? The first one is always begin with an end in mind, as Stephen Covey had said, or have a purpose or an objective. Why am I talking to people about this? What is the objective or outcomes I'm expecting at the end of the... If you ask me, what is the objective of making a presentation here? The objective of making a presentation to my audience students is they get a plethora or a canvas of ideas relating to management, and somewhere along the way they know the field, and maybe they'll take home a few points that appeal to them and which they can immediately implement for their own growth and betterment. Now, so all of us want to put our experience on the table so that you know the canvas of behavioral skills or soft skills or people management skills. I'm sure our lecturers, some of them would have started the class, write the word management on the board. All my participants will write very easy. I don't know whether you teachers follow this trick. We do all these tricks. Put a stroke after the first E. Manage, the word manage comes. Put a stroke after the second E, manage me comes. And put a stroke after the N, men comes. So manage me, manage men, that is management. And the whole philosophy of management is contained there. And this you will have, we are trying to manage your thinking, your skills. We are trying to tell you, this is the platter. It has all, where North Indian, South Indian, different tastes prepared by different cooks who have cooked these recipes over the years. Take what you want and enjoy and savor everybody's. That is the first thing. Start with an objective. The second one is develop the content, visual aids. I found that some of my previous presenters had beautiful visual. Like I was so carried away, for example, I remember Manoj's immediately. Like the frown I was practicing. Does it happen here in the break? Does my smile go? Because then I read, okay, he says facial expression has 3 important elements. Angle of the eyebrows, position of the pupil, and angle of the smile. Now these are the 3 elements in a facial expression. And from the way in which each angle changes, you will know whether it is a genuine or not genuine. So I tried practicing. Now do I sound genuine? When I say, we had a wonderful day, and afterwards they say, yo, how tiring, yeah, whole day listening. I said, and then how will my face immediately change? So am I a good actress? Can I fake an expression, or would it come out naturally? These were things. That means the speech had made an impact. Yes or no? You start thinking about this. That thinking is the starting point of your change. So definitely you will have to manage the content with visuals, with examples. There were so many interesting stories that was. Sometimes when you want to start a presentation, especially when you're doing it for the first time, start with an impact statement or a story or a kind of a humorous anecdote. Will really help you. Winston Churchill was known for this. Once when he went for a very serious meeting where he expected a lot of people to bombard him with a negative feedback, he said, please all of you get up and say your prayers. So everyone got up saying, what is this? He's asking us to say prayers. He said, first prayer is, I thank you, God, for all the praise showered on me by my introducer or by the person who spoke before me. Pause. Second, I ask God's forgiveness for all the lies that were circulated about me by my previous speaker. So he made such an impact because he brought that, he brought a lightness to that very serious situation. That is why we say humor is very important. There are some of my trainers who will say, Vaijayanti, even if I crack a joke, nobody laughs. I have to tell them it's a joke. Then they say, oh, it's a joke. So sometimes humor can be built in naturally into your personality. And the easiest way to really make people feel relaxed and bond with you is to make people smile. Have a genuine smile. Smiling should come, and after all, I always go with this. Once I was taking class for this, this IIM Ahmedabad students always give you, they have that aura of, that superiority around them. Oh, they are from the ABC management institutes, and I had to, by default and by accident, I had to take a class. And the minute I entered the class, one guy put up his hand very careless and said, you Vaijayanti? I said, yes. Please don't come and tell us on communication, attitudes, team building. We know all that. All this crap we have heard for the first year. Is there anything new that you want to say so that you don't waste our time and your time in this class? Inwardly, I was shivering. But my experience and sense of control over the situation said, excellent, you know about everything, but I don't know anything. So you are going to teach me throughout this day what you know. So let me find out, is there a gap between what you know and what I know, and let's bridge this gap. In the end, I was tired, but I didn't show. And whenever somebody snubbed another participant, they all thumped the desk. Ta, ta, ta. Is why? You were able to snub him, no? It's a very great thing. I said, is this an attitude of team building with which they enter into corporates? That each one wants to be an island of excellence or a pocket of excellence where they don't want to share, they don't want to admit that people know something different? I said, they have to say, but I can't engineer an attitude on the night. Attitudes are formed right from your childhood. And so that is why we say communication is built on attitudes. It's an attitude. So definitely remember, handle your material very well. And the last one, and be prepared for questions. There are questions you don't know the answer, say I don't know. Questions you don't understand, ask for clarification. Questions that are confusing, tell them you're confused. Questions which are complicated, split the question into sub-questions. And suppose questions you don't know the answer, sometimes you can do these tricks of the trade that we all do as trainers. Once I remember when I started my training career, I was not very sure of my Tamil spellings. So I was doing a program for Britannia workers, Swayam Membadu. So some very complicated word of assertiveness in Tamil came and I didn't know how to write it. But how to say, I don't know. So I said, in this class, who has a beautiful handwriting, Tamil handwriting? Madam, me. So somebody came and wrote on the board and my job was finished. Now this is called the tricks of a communicator. Okay, my job is done. The second time, what happened, I can't be like the Einstein's driver. You have heard that famous story, isn't it? Einstein and his driver were going for a conference. Einstein was far ahead of his times. And so in a conference, driver said, I'll pose as Einstein and you sit as a driver because nobody knows how you look. So the driver sat as Einstein on the podium, and one of the speakers, wanting to be very sarcastic, said, I'm sure this is a very simple question that our dear intelligent Professor Einstein can answer. This driver was a very clever fellow. What a simple question, even my driver can answer it. And he pointed it out. Now, this, we can't do it often because I can't give you a contradictory statement that if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. I said, so you have to go for preparation, but sometimes situational intelligence helps you to get out of a situation. Definitely, you need to be prepared for interventions. Don't take these interventions as interferences, but an opportunity to interact with the audience, to build a rapport, and please take it away from your mind that you don't have to answer all the questions. You're not a PhD on the subject. You have come here, prepare on a particular aspect and tell them what you know. And to an audience, tell them ask 3 questions when you speak to an audience. What they already know, what they wish to know, and what they need to know. What they already know, don't repeat and waste their time. What they wish to know, find out. And what they need to know, get it from them and then address those issues and speak the language of the audience. Don't be technical. Suppose you're very nervous in an audience where there are a lot of very senior people. The way I control my nervousness, I look at one smiling face which is making me feel very comfortable in that audience. I look at them and smile, they'll smile back at me, then I'll feel, oh, all is well with the world. I don't have to see everybody, but I can start my lecture looking at that person and then take my glances across the room, because you have to have eye contact. So speak the language of the audience, be prepared for their questions, analyze the audience, address them as you. Don't say one has to do like this, one has to be like this, and there is no connection or bonding. You, I, we are better this thing. Adapt to the audience's needs. And last but not the least, the you part, the self. I said mass, M-A-S, the self. Prepare yourself. come to this thing much ahead in time. I've been getting so many SMSs and emails from Sea Change Consult telling, if you want to come to the venue, prepare, what are the slides you want to use, how big is the hall, do you want a mock session. They were giving us ample opportunities to make us feel comfortable delivering a session which is a 35-minute session. So that shows that preparation time was given to you. So prepare, prepare, prepare. Control your nervousness. Don't eliminate your nervousness. What is the best way to control nervousness? Take a deep breath before you are nervous. Don't drink too much water, but don't go on an empty stomach. If you drink too much water, you feel like going to the washroom again and again. And if you eat heavily, you'll be burping and slurping that you may not be wanting to speak fluently. So take a light meal. Drink a little less water, keep your energy levels, come with a positive kind of, no, I can do it. Don't ever think, what will happen? It's only few people are there. Will it be effective? Don't ask questions. What you know, you go. Because the second rule of very good presentation is give your best to whatever you undertake. Your best need not be somebody else's best. Your best is your best. Nobody can take away. Some trainers who from corporates will come, HR department. Vaijayanti, can I sit in your training program and take all the games and notes that you are saying? Would you mind? Because some trainers mind. I said, no, knowledge is not my possession. Nobody can replace Vaijayanti. Vaijayanti is Vaijayanti, you is you. I can give you all the games and activities, but the delivery is going to be mine. So I don't mind. Please take it. Knowledge is to be shared. And the more you give, the more you get. This is a practical proven experience that I've had in life. And last but not the least, remember that you must like yourself, value yourself, and tell yourself constantly, give yourself a pep talk, I can do it. And there are all the other aspects of a presentation in terms of body language, tone, voice. We say pitch, pause, and pace. Pitch is the volume of your voice, no problem, we have a mic. Pauses are the gaps you give while you're talking because you need to drive home a point, give time for them to absorb and then go to another point. Pacing is talking at the speed of understanding of the other person. If you talk too fast, people won't understand you. If you talk too slowly, they'll go off to sleep. So you need to match the time of the day, your audience with what you're doing. So pitch, pause and pace. Prepare your content very well and remember, when you want to give your best would automatically come because you have taken the best effort to do something. So this is what I want to talk about, your presentation skills. I hope, as Nina said, all of us want to give a 2-day program into a 35-minute capsule. I think I have done the same thing, but I am sure that none of you didn't go to sleep. Thank you so much. May God bless you.
Thank you, Ms. Vaijayanti Jagannathan. May I now request Ms. Susha John, a member managing committee, MMA, to kindly present a memento to Ms. Vaijayanti. Thank you, Madam. That was a session on the art of communication and present the presentation by Ms. Vaijayanti Jagannathan.